Hey guys, so I'll be like peeling some beans in here. I know that's like not the video you've ever watched, but yeah. So wait, I don't think that you're gonna hear me better if I get the cap out. So I'm gonna camera house off, and then how am I gonna do it? I don't know. It has to be like close to me, so maybe if I just I don't know. If I put it on the table, and then if I come closer, okay, I think that's gonna be good, like an idea. If I can just, I don't know. Hey, I guess you see me like that. I hope you hear good enough. I don't know. No, you probably, what about that? It's kind of not the most comfortable setup, but yeah, just some screwable stuff. I don't know if I just do this. Ah, jeez, it'll be so much easier if I somehow had to attach it without using the camera house. So I don't know. Life and its problems, how to deal with them. Okay, so maybe that's how I'm gonna leave it, and I'll assume you hear me quite good because I'll be speaking loud. I know that there's gonna be a cracking noise because of the bean shells, but you go over that, like if you wanna listen. I don't know, I'm not gonna talk that much of a serious shit unless we go deep, of course, but which is like probable, but we'll see. So, hello again. Everything is set now, like you could just skip 2.5 minutes from the video because I said nothing meaningful. I mean, yeah. As you see here, I'm getting the beans out of their shells. I just gathered those like a couple of days ago from the villa. Thanks to Nicola that he gave me the beans like in the spring, and thanks to me that I sowed them and cared for them, you know, watering, putting them poles, gathering after that. Oh, and also thanks to Damien because he helped me with like digging the soil, you know, making the land easier for salmon. So thanks to him too. Shout out to these fellas, including myself. Did you hear how my voice turned in a weird way when I mentioned myself? I don't know. That's just human psychology stuff, or it was just something physiological. Not to discuss that anyways. You're just about to see these beans all the time. I know it's probably annoying. So you can just leave the video in another tab and listen if you just want to listen. If you don't want to listen, you can just close the video, dislike, unsubscribe, spam comments, you know, everything that you like, because you're free to be whatever you want. And I'll sing the blues fine. Jeez, look at that, it looks sick. I don't know if I should eat that. Okay, I'm just gonna throw it because I don't like sick beans, you know. Although we have a few of them here. Yep. Well, okay, that's a weird thing. We're probably gonna throw most of the beans because obviously I didn't care well for them, as you can see, and they don't look quite fine, but I'm not sure if it's edible this way, like if it has these wounds, to call them this way. But sure thing, what I wanted to talk mostly about is the trip to Turkey yesterday, which I did not film because, oh, there wasn't much to film, unless maybe the roll, but, you know, it's just stuff. So, it was my first time ever to Turkey, and actually my second time that I'm going abroad, like anywhere besides Bulgaria. My first time was to Poland. This is also like the first trip with a plane that I've ever had. It was last year. If you can remember the video, I may put a link to it in the description or somewhere you see it. So Turkey is my second destination as a country, and this trip was planned for maybe more than a week. Like, we got these reserved places, sit place, anyways, and the bus, and it was me and my father. So I'm thankful for him like for finding it. Not that I did not know about it actually, but he found like a slightly better deal, and he found it in time so that we can get these reservations. Because if you go too late, then there may be no place for you, which is sad but true. Thus, it was like starting from Yambo, like the actual travel. And Yambo is a town that is really near to us, but like about 25 kilometers. So the thing is, we had to first off find a way to get there in like 6 a.m. Literally, like 6 a.m. You have to be there in the bus. So we got late, but on that later. And there were no buses, uh, practically no public transport going at this time. Like, we could go from yesterday, but you know, then we'll have other problems. So the most probable thing was a car, like a friend of ours that we can find who will be willing to drive us to Yambo. And at the end, this friend of ours was actually the same guy that gave me these beans. That's just the thing to say. So thanks to him again for that thing. For the beans and for the transport. Nicola, if you're watching this video, thank you lots, man. So we got him like to drive us 3 days before that, something like that. Like, I just talked to him. Well, it happened in a different way, but I'm not gonna explain this in details, unless maybe some of them, because some of them are funny, but others are not. So practically, they fooled themselves that we're gonna go the next day, but it was the next day, and I told like the girl that was with him, that I'm talking about, Saturday, but she didn't hear that, and also she didn't tell to him because she didn't hear it, and I didn't tell to him because I was suspecting that she told him, and you know, it's just there's a game in Bulgaria. I don't know if you played in the foreign countries, but like this broken phone thing, you probably have it. I don't think it's a Bulgarian game, so you've probably heard of it. So like someone says a thing, a sentence or a word in the beginning of a queue, and then like each person has to send it to the next one, and at the end, but that's like silence, you know, like gossips. At the end of the queue, the last man pronounces this word, the same one. And if it's the one that is said in the beginning, then wow, that's amazing teamwork, but most of the time it gets to like something completely different, because almost every single man changes it, at least slightly. So that's a version of what happened with us, but so like they got up on Friday, and they were ringing me on the phone, but my phone like 6 in the morning, it's like turned off, so they kinda got mad on me, but you know, it was just a misagreement. I should have told him twice or 3 times, I don't know, whatever. It's just that sometimes we don't listen carefully, sometimes we forget that repeating is the mother of knowledge and the father of dumbness. That's a quote from one of our physics teachers, I think. No, of course, she, in this case, she didn't think of it, but she's like making the propaganda, so. But the thing is, on Saturday, we safely got to Yambo, although there is another fun thing to it, like, we're already about at least 5 kilometers out of town. And my dad's like, did you bring your passport? I'm like, nope. And then we went back. They would give up, maybe, if it wasn't me, because he was like starting to talk stuff about, yeah, we can go next week, you know, that's my dad. Yeah. And like, Nicola and the other girl that was with us, Mirella, they were both like, if my dad was in this situation, blah 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 and stuff like that. And I go like so angry, you know, a bit on myself that I forgot the passport, but also on them because they were like pointing the situation up to this statement that we shouldn't go back again, like we should just go home and give up, and I didn't want that. So we practically went, and it was a complicated scheme because I live in like 2 flats, honestly, discounting the villa, of course. So I had left the keys for the second flat where my passport is in the first flat, and I first had to like run to the, like, because they stopped me at about a cross junction that's about 100 meters away from both flats, you could say. Well, it's closer to one, but anyways. So I was running to the first flat, picking up the keys from it for the second one, then going to the second one, running again, picking up the passport, running out, and then like I told my father, I asked him to call the tour organizers and tell them that we might be late. So when I got back like from all this running and hustle, he said he already called them and they will wait about 15 minutes, which was awesome. Like, it was a great idea. And going back to Yambo with all the documents required, it was like that we were 20 meters away from the bus, and like the tour organizer called my dad asking him, where are we, you know, and we were literally in there. So it was a close call. We could miss it, and it would suck like so much. So I have to say in advance that I got like 70 Bulgarian levs. I changed them for 225 Turkish liras. So that was the deal pretty much, you know, because we're going to Turkey. And it's mostly a shopping trip, the one that we took, because it's like one day and you go mostly through shops. So that's like my dad had like the same amount of stuff, like money, and so I took my also like a Turkish book so that I can read on the way, you know, remind some of that what I've forgotten, what is like in my mind, but just picking up dust. So I read some of that along the way, but it was like a road that I haven't ever traveled before. Like, this part of Bulgaria, hadn't seen it. It was something quite new. So like at the beginning of the road, my dad was like, you know, he recommended me instead of reading that I should look out because I haven't been here ever. So I did that, and I was practically reading while we were waiting for something, like when the bus was static, like at the country borders. So we had to pick up some people from this Elhovo, which is like, I'm not sure if it's a village or a town, but I think it's a town more like. And from there we went on to the borderline, where in Bulgaria this custom guy, like the custom police, border police, I don't know how exactly your term is in English, he just went into the bus and picked all of our passports, like every traveler's passports, and then he got them back, just checking stuff, if anyone is like a criminal, if your passport is valid, because there was like about 5 to 10 people, something like that, with invalid passports. Like, these guys, they had them run out from like a month, so they could have revived the passports, but they did not, and they just got kicked out. I don't recall if it was like about on the border or somewhere before that, but they didn't pass Turkey. And after going through the Bulgarian border, of course we had to go through the Turkish one too. That's a nice detail, that you just actually go through 2 borders, so it's practically like about 100 meters one between each other, and you could actually see like the actual border. Like, it's a fence, and it's so dumb that you can just go with like these giant scissors, and just crush the hell out of it, because it's so weak. You can see some pictures in the internet, like, just look up for the country border between Bulgaria and Turkey, and you'll see that it's a pretty sad thing. Like, they obviously did not invest too much in it. So on the Turkish border, we had to go down of the bus, and each of us go through the passport control separately, which is kind of different from like the Bulgarian passport control. And we had like probably more than an hour staying at these customs, doing stuff and waiting. But after that we got into town. We shopped a lot of goods that I might show you. Yes, I will show you what we bought. And yeah, we mostly stopped at shops, as I said, but we also had like this stop at a church, like Saint Constantine in Elena. We also stopped like at a mosque, which is like one of the biggest ones in Odrun, or is it like even the biggest one? It was like this Selimiye Jamu. So it's a pretty giant mosque. It's like the mosque of 999 windows, that's how they call it. Ketangler. And we also had a walk through the center, just wandering around, drinking some tea. We ate like some traditional dishes like tava ciğer. My dad go like tavuk shish, yeah, which is like chicken on a piece of wood. Yeah. And they also gave us like this choban salad, which is the equivalent of the so-called ovcharska salata in Bulgaria. Practically the same thing. And they also served us a lot of hot peppers, which were free. Also like some tomato with onions, and a hot pepper sauce. A lot of bread. Like, the bread is also free, something that I took note of. Not like Bulgaria, they just put this bread cobble, like, a cobble. I don't know, that's not the proper word in English, but something like a bowl, but made of wood, and they just fill it up with bread, and whenever you eat it up, they just put more, and that doesn't add up anything to your hesap at the end, and hesap means like bill, so that's just a joke for the people who at least slightly understand Turkish. It was quite a nice meal. We also had like some I like the first thing that I ever bought was baklava, so I got like 3 pieces of baklava for like 450 Turkish liras, which is much better of a deal than what you can find here in Bulgaria, honestly, most of the time. So I ate that, so you won't be seeing it when I show you what we bought. And I also got like some bananas, which had, I don't know, maybe some kind of a chemical on their peels, because after I ate the first banana, like my lips got sticky as if I had glue on them. But it's not like, you know, when you're eating figs and there's this figin, the white liquid that gets separated from the fig branches, and it gets your lips sticky too, and like it's itching and hurts, and if you get it on your skin, it's like very annoying and could be painful also. But like this was exactly as if I had glue, so I guess these bananas weren't like the most natural organic stuff, you know. Meaning like of course it was natural because it came from a plant, of course it was organic because even oil is organic, to say it this way, but I mean that it wasn't raised in like an ecological way, because it obviously had these stuff on it. But not to get too much on that, we visited like the Blue Market, if you know it, if you've heard of it, and there was like this giant mall, Margi outlet, that's how they call it. We also visited like this Migros shop. What else? Like you know, the main streets of Aldrin, the Beza stands, giant markets, and well, if you just ask me, yeah, you should go to Aldrin. I recommend that. Look at that, like, how much beans we've got out of all of this labor and capital. We got that much stuff. Like, okay, so let's get to the deals. This is like a box from the Balsujuk, as it is called in English, mulberry sausage. So that's how it looks generally, and that's what it is really. Like, look at that. It's just 3 pieces of balsujuk. Next off, what else do we have? Like, I'll show you. This is like dry grapes. I got some almonds, tahini, pekmez, which is like from grape. This one. We have some more dried grapes. I don't know, there was a word in English, but I don't recall it right now. We also got hazelnuts, some Turkish delight in here, as you call it, but we just say lokum, as it is really its name. Oh, shit. After that, what else? We have like a lot of stuff we bought for that money, you know. It's just that prices are quite fair. We got this rivonet. It's giant. It's like a 1 kilogram piece. The rest is here with like kadayif, as you can see, and pishmaniye, helva. If you don't know what pishmaniye is, that's like almost like cotton candy. Let me just get it out. So here it is, pishmaniye. Practically Turkish cotton candy, you can say it this way. So what else? I don't know. My father got his own stuff. Like, I mostly bought sweets, so I don't think there is more. Let me just check the refrigerator, but no, nothing more than that. Like, we got this stuff for my sister, lavash. That's like this bread. not pancakes, but not like doner, you know, something like. Well, it's just lavash, and those are the dishes that I need to wash. I know it makes a rhyme with lavage, but that doesn't make it any fun. So at the end, thank you guys for watching or listening. If you did any of these, goodbye.